Hey everybody, Matt here with the Most Adequate Collection, doing a different video today. Usually most of my content is around baseball and hockey, but today I decided to go with another one of my collecting loves, which is pro wrestling. I've been a pro wrestling fan ever since I was a kid, 88, 89, 90, somewhere around there. I remember when I come up to North Dakota to visit my extended family, before we eventually moved up here, my cousin had a VHS tape of a recording of WrestleMania 6. And every single time we'd come up here, we would watch that one specifically, and not just that event, but specifically the match, the main event match between Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior was the Intercontinental Champion at the time. Hulk Hogan was the World Heavyweight Champion at the time. And I didn't necessarily see it that way, but it turns out it ended up being what was supposed to be kind of a passing of the torch moment, where Hogan kind of passed along the mantle of the company guy from himself to the Ultimate Warrior as a way of kind of passing the torch to the next generation. Now, as things would have it, within a year or two after that, the Ultimate Warrior had some disagreements with management and was out of the company and blah, 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 blah. But I remember you had these two absolute juggernauts in the ring together, two who at the time were at least booked to be the best in the business, and one of them would walk away. But that would eventually, go on into the early mid-90s when things were not quite so good. The new generation era, where it seems like everyone had a job. You had a plumber, you had a hockey player, you had a trash man, but you also had the rise of guys like Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, who went from being kind of gimmicks and mid-carders to being the face of the company. As we all know, as anyone who's followed wrestling knows about the Attitude Era that would follow, and then leading into today. And all these years later, I'm still just as much of a pro wrestling fan as I was then. And I know I've shown a couple wrestling items on my video, and the weird thing I've noticed is that as far as my collecting goes, as much as I love wrestling, it doesn't seem like I am as drawn to wrestling cards as I am with baseball and hockey. Most of my wrestling collection revolves around autographs, specifically 8x10 photos or larger photos, certain memorabilia things, and figures. You can see kind of behind my shoulder there, we've got Cody Rhodes, an autographed print up here. Below it, there is a piece of the mat from Hell in the Cell a few years ago, where Cody Rhodes fought Seth Rollins, and it was the iconic reveal of where Cody Rhodes took off his jacket to reveal the heavy bruising as a result of a completely torn pectoral muscle. But that's when I became a fan of his. But this video isn't so much about that in particular as it is about this right here. It's a stack of cards I bought kind of on an eBay binge probably 5-6 years ago. These are all, I believe, 2020 cards. And it was one of those things of where you're just kind of browsing around on eBay, and you come across an item that either you like or is at least you kind of like, but it was in a particular price point that's reasonable to you. And then you look at other items, and then you realize they've got a pretty good combined shipping rate, so you just add and add and add and add and add. Ended up being 13 cards in total from the same seller, combined shipping. I believe I paid $60, right around $60 for all of these. Stack of 13 cards, all WWE issues, and all hits, memorabilia, and or autographed memorabilia cards. So never really filed these or put these away in any boxes quite yet, as a part of my not being very organized. So figured it would be an art before these eventually get filed away. Kind of show them off to you and see what we got here. First one I've got, this one is from 2020 Topps WWE Undisputed. We have a dual relic piece of Braun Strowman, former Universal Champion, former Intercontinental Champion, I believe. But up top, that blue one is the mat, a piece of ring used or event used ring mat, and then below that we have a shirt. Next up, same type of card of Otis, who now is a part of I think they're still called Alpha Academy. Used to be with Heavy Machinery, which is a tag team with him and Tucker Knight. Tucker Knight's no longer with the company. Otis is kind of doing his own thing now. But that does appear to be a Heavy Machinery shirt right down here. Either that or it could be an NXT logo from then. But yeah, same thing there. Next up, from Topps Finest 2020, autographed card of former and then present and then now again former WWE wrestler Aleister Black, who went to AEW for a short time, known as Malachi Black, then back to WWE, and then now he's no longer with the company. They just got released a few months ago, if I remember right. Next up is, oh my goodness, towards the end of Vince McMahon's run with the company, there were some very questionable character choices made. We all know about LA Knight being repackaged as Max Dupree. We know about the horrible job they did with Karrion Kross, getting him from this cool assassin-looking character to a character that looked like something out of Mad Max. And then we have this. This, to me, is probably the worst of it. But we have Chad Gable, who is now widely recognized as one of the best pure technicians. He's a former Olympian. I don't recall what his real name is, but Chad Gable is his wrestling name. Obviously named after Dan Gable, former world-famous Greco-Roman wrestler. But for a time, I guess Vince didn't know what to do with an undersized guy, regardless of his ability, regardless of his charisma. And so they repackaged him as Shorty G. So here we go. One of the best wrestlers in the world, combined with one of the worst gimmicks. And this is, this only lasted a few months, but here you go, an autographed card of Shorty G. Most recently, Chad Gable put on one of the best wrestling matches of the year in AAA, Noche de los Grandes with AAA. And I've got a video I'm going to do on that one pretty soon because I've got a card related to that. But that's not going to be on this one. Next up, from Undisputed 2020, we have an autographed card of Mustafa Ali, who did pretty well in WWE. It seemed like they wanted to put some stock in him a little bit, but it was always like a big start and stop thing with him. Like they push him for a little bit and then it kind of grow cold, and then push him for a little bit and then grow cold again. Now he's wrestling with TNA and is leader of a faction there. I can't recall the name of it. I do watch TNA on occasion, but the name of his group escapes me. Another 2020 Topps Finest autographed card, Samoa Joe, who is now signed with AEW, but I believe he is wrestling with Ring of Honor, which is kind of like a subsidiary. I know they're both owned by Tony Khan. So this is now a Tony Khan employed wrestler, but doing pretty well over with that company. Won the world title with AEW. Speaking of former world champions, we have from 2020 Topps Finest, numbered 62 out of 99, green parallel on-card autograph of former world champion Bobby Lashley. Pretty decent looking signature. Placement isn't great, but overall it's better than what we saw with like Aleister Black, where he just writes two initials. But yeah, great looking card. Great wrestler. He's now with AEW as well. Him and Shelton Benjamin are tag teaming as the Hurt Syndicate with MVP as their manager. Next up, we got a tag team, although these are on two different cards. One of them is from 2020 Undisputed. Another one is a different issue because it's NXT. It's either 2018, 2019. But we have autographs of both from both Street Profits. We've got Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. The Angelo Dawkins card features a two-colored shirt swatch along with, matte relics. So I believe that might even be an NXT mat. I know nowadays we're seeing a lot of advertisements and logos on the ring mats, so you could, in theory, get a colored matte swatch. but this is back before they did that. So the fact that it's black makes you think that this was an NXT mat. But, you know, great looking card, black mat, red and yellow shirt. And then, man, that Montez Ford signature looks fantastic. Compare it to his tag team partner, and then just in general. I mean, you can see every single letter. And at a certain point, whether it's print or cursive, that just looks fantastic. Next up, we have 2 out of the 3 members of the New Day. One guy who I've actually featured on my channel before, which is Big E, an autographed card from 2020 Undisputed. Yep, numbered 36 out of 50. And then the other one from Undisputed as well, a dual relic card, a mat and shirt of Kofi Kingston, both of them signed. Big fan of the New Day, one of the all-time greatest tag teams in WWE history. Now currently unemployed, mainly because I guess WWE had some plans for them. They kind of wanted a little bit more. They didn't kind of like what the input was, and I think the company asked them to take a pay cut too, because they weren't being utilized as much as they had been previously. So they took a bet on themselves, asked for their release, were granted their release, and I think now they're just kind of sitting out their 90-day no-compete clause. So I would say expect to see them in AEW within a couple months. Last 2 are the 2 probably the biggest names out of here. Numbered 130 out of 199. We have an autographed card from Undisputed of former multi-time world champion Drew McIntyre. Great looking signature. Not legible like Montez Ford's was, but I like the fact that he does more than just one little symbol or scribble or 2 initials. So there's actually some substance to this. But just a great wrestler overall. Has been a fantastic heel character over the last few years. And is one of those few guys, and he was one of the first guys to do it, to leave WWE, kind of refine and hone in his craft, either on the independents or with other companies, and then kind of build himself back up, kind of recreate a little bit of his character, and then come back to WWE as a completely new person, and then rose to become a world champion. He did it before Cody Rhodes did it, but Cody Rhodes is kind of one of the more recent examples of it. But great looking card overall. Lastly, we have, similar to some of the others, it is a matte relic. It is a 2-color t-shirt relic and an autograph, numbered 60 out of 99, of one of the top guys in the company, in the business right now, Seth freaking Rollins. I think this is before he added the freaking to his name, but a great looking card. Not the best signature, but you know, what can you do? I'm not exactly sure. He's had so many different t-shirts and merchandise over the year. I'm not really sure what specific shirt that comes from. Love the fact that it's 2-colored. Got an autograph with it. I think these are all stickered autographs. Well, not all of these. No, the Drew McIntyre was on card. So like the ones like this are on card. The ones like this are stickers, but just a great few additions to my collection. Really need to get better organized with my wrestling cards. Maybe pick up a few. I found that it's weird with baseball. I know I like the vintage cards a lot, and that seems to be where a lot of focus goes. With hockey, a kind of a mix. I like the area I started in, which is kind of the junk wax era, with a little bit of an end today. And then if I'm buying wrestling cards, for some reason with wrestling, it's got to be super modern. I don't necessarily, it doesn't appeal to me to get a card of a wrestler in a former gimmick. I like them as they're presented now. So I haven't really gotten a whole lot of cards of wrestling, even more recently. I mean, this stack I bought maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and it's just been sitting in that stack. So I don't know. We'll see where I go from here. There is one card I bought recently that I will be doing a separate video on. And then maybe get some more. I still love wrestling, still enjoy watching it, still as much of a fan as I've ever been. So we'll see if I get some more content in the future. But until then, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.